So Disney makes its money legitimately, but it gets helped by the government. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the Fortune 100.
Would you say that every piece of product that comes out of them is a work? Do you know what that means?
It's part of the plan.
Like a work. Wrestling is like a work. So there's like, if two wrestlers are gonna go, they go and they go, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do something with the chair, and we work it. And then if they go like this in wrestling, it means I'm not working it. It's real. So is, like, for instance, was Herbie the Love Bug movie made and it was just like, this is a fun, cute movie and that's it? Or was it like to sell like Monsanto? Like,
to sell bugs.
Yeah, like what, like.
Well, they know that's going to happen.
Is everything a work, or is there anything that's just made creatively?
No, I think some things are. Some things are innocuous, yeah.
So you could probably argue that one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, called Enemy of the State, that is still early, even though it was made 25 years ago, was probably made for a reason.
Well, it's predictive. I mean, it really called like the Patriot Act style, loss of civil liberties,
And I know when we did that movie, we had the best people from that were consultants.
Right.
Okay. So Disney. It's going to be hard on us here. I've heard this from many people, but I know you guys go into it. They are basically, all the stuff they say is true. They're working with the government.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even occulted. That's just kind of...
That's public.
Yeah, that's public knowledge that they... And also a big part of their agenda is to push magic and get children interested in occult things and magic.
Because...
They're all... I mean, the Magic Kingdom, right? Sorcerer's Apprentice is Mickey Mouse. They're all about magic of Disney.
So
I wrote a book. The first book I wrote was about ceremonial magic and all of this, and Disney was heavily involved in that first book. Because I used to think there was a difference between white magic and black magic. I don't think that anymore. But Disney is integral, just like things like Harry Potter, into getting children interested in the metaphysical and the magical way of thinking, which leads to OTO down the road.
OTO.
Yeah. The sex magic you were talking about.
What's OTO mean?
Ordo Templi Orientis.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying it's a priming.
Mm-hmm. It's a grooming.
Grooming.
Yeah. Grooming kids to be interested in magic and other bad things.
And the world is over-sexualized more than ever. What do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years with that? Just that.
Like, where will sex be in 5 years?
Well, I'm telling you this. I've had a good life. I've lived. I've had some, some times that, you might not approve of as much, but it wasn't nothing bad. It was fun. But this, what people are doing now and talking about and the way it is, I'm like turned off. It's like I have a girlfriend. It's like that's rare for me, and I actually like just want to be with her. That's like rare for me because I see all this other stuff, and I'm like, this is like, what's going on? Like I feel fucking weirded out. So all of this stuff over the last 3 years, I'm like, I kind of did get more into like, maybe God is real, and like, and I believe it was real. Like I was saying at your talk, because of the evil that I feel and see. So there's got to be an opposite, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just feel that it's just the normalizing of weird shit is happening more and more. And go ahead.
We weren't always squares. Like,
no, I don't think you're squares at all. I think you're.
We've had our.
No, I know. I think you had some wild times before, right? Probably more than you. Didn't you guys tell me?
No, I was wilder than her.
But wait, so you've had different times and lived your life, right?
I have, yeah.
And then you've also had your own times.
Yeah.
Like one night stands. Can you say you had that? I've had that. You've had that.
I've had that.
Yeah, okay. So then you're not that wild.
Maybe not sexually, but I have been, traveling. I've lived a lot of different lifestyles. I used to live on a school bus and read tarot cards for a living.
Yeah, you were like a hippie.
And now I do this.
But but the thing is, normally I would discredit that. I would call you a crunchy crystal. And it's like, well, I'm not feeling. But now as I look into all this stuff, that's why I try to describe things in the simplest way, because there's a lot of truth to it if you can back it up with simple explanations. And that's why this pod's a little hard, because we went all over the place. I wish I did one at a time, but it's like one thing that leads to another thing. Like all of that shit actually is real. And I'm just trying to break it down for people in the simplest way. Like when people say, this girl I worked with one time, a great actress, Jay, she said, your vibe is your tribe. And I was like, this is brilliant. And so basically, she started me thinking about this, of how who you surround yourself with, that energy is real and jumps, and that is a real thing. Like energy is an actual tangible thing. Mm-hmm. We all agree on that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's why when we were talking about this sex magic, you got me thinking of like why certain people are so successful in that specific sect of a certain religion that we, Ientology, and how some people are so successful. And I'm wondering now, and you just put it together in my head of why it works for
certain
them.
Vibes.
So my question to you is everything in Hollywood placed? Because I was never placed. And I almost think I was successful. Obviously, I definitely was, in spite of it. And I probably hit a certain level because they probably knew I couldn't be co-opted. Would you agree with this statement?
I would agree with that. I think, things are controlled at a pretty tight level in super high level things.
So if anyone is on a super high level, would you say they're co-opted?
That's just very likely, but I don't know in every case, obviously, but it seems likely.
Some people you can look at and for sure say they're a CIA asset.
Well, that's come out in history of Hollywood in many cases, yeah.